RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
Okay, where am I? There I am. How's everybody doing? My name is Tara Devlin. I hope the show is working. I don't know. It better work. How's it going in the YouTube chat? Is everything... I'm waiting a second to see if it comes up. What the hell is going on? Something weird is happening with YouTube. Because we're having Thom Hartmann on tonight. What is that? What am I seeing? What I'm seeing? Am I really close up? What the hell? Is that for real? On YouTube, it's like zoomed in. Is this happening? Somebody in the chat will tell me if the YouTube channel is looking weird. What the hell? All right, we're starting again, I guess, right? How's it look? It looks good? Okay, good. Because I'm the thing that I'm saying, the YouTube feed I'm seeing is a big close-up of my face. So as long as it's working, I'm glad. It's not a big close-up of me, right? It's very bizarre. Everything sucks. Why does everything suck? Yes, this is Tarabuster. What do you think, right? We do it anyway. It's really true. You don't wait for the perfect time. I that's been my motto for life. If I waited to do this show for it to be perfect, we wouldn't have a show. That's the bottom line. I guess I could show you actually what I'm seeing. Look, when I do this. Can you see? You see my feed here? It's like a big close-up of my face. That's what I see. Don't tell me. It looks like your mic is higher than usual. But don't tell me. But tell me the truth. It's not a big close-up. You're seeing the full thing. Because this looks normal on the recording, but I just want to make sure because Thom Hartmann, we're going to call Thom Hartmann in about 10 minutes. And we want to look professional. Look like we know what we're doing in here. Right? Even though we don't. And we do it anyway. We do it anyway. That's what I always say. You do it anyway. Okay, good. So it's coming. So the feed is feeding normally. All right, guys. Thank you. And I always say it is true. This is a community show. It is. I may be in the driver's seat, but you guys are really my co-producers. And I really appreciate that too, because that's the way it is. That's how we're going to win. We will win. All right? We know that. We're on the right side of history, the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy, and we will win. And I'm we're going to call Thom Hartmann in a minute, and I'm looking forward to our conversation, but I'm also kind of nervous. So you guys, I don't know. I guess it's not a big deal. But he wrote only because I admire him so much, so I don't want to come off like a loser. Or something, I guess. I don't know. Or you know how it is in your own head. Nobody wants to go in their own head by themselves. But Thom, good timing to be on the show. Well, he's been doing his book tour for his new book, The Hidden History of American Oligarchy. And I'm not just saying this. I don't know. This is a one book in a series, but I highly recommend this. I read the book from cover to cover. I guess I should wait for Thom to tell him this, and it's succinct, palatable, and I think really everybody should read it because it is the actual history of the United States. We hear all the stories of the heroes and whatnot, but really what this country is a relatively young country, as we know, and Thom will talk about it, but we're living in the third oligarchic takeover of the country. As not George Washington, as Ben Franklin said, a republic, if you can keep it. It's that because republics are tenuous and fallible, and throughout history, we have numerous examples of republics not lasting. And usually it's because of the big moneyed interests and a bunch of people, how evil triumphs when good men and women do nothing. Well, what do you think is happening in this country? Where are the good men and women on the Republican side? Are there any? Wait, hold on. I have to putting the fan on. Gets hot in here when I start talking. But are there any good men and women? Now they're suffering from insurrection amnesia. We knew that was coming. It never stops, though. An insurrection. Is that a word? Insurrection? Jesus Christ. An insurrection. They want us to forget, but why shouldn't we? Since it's always been conservatism, we've always had to pander to the conservative oligarchy. And really, and I should wait for Thom, like I said, but in the end of the Civil War, we forgave them. We were all supposed to forget. Lincoln had his vice president, Andrew Johnson, because he wanted to build a coalition between the progressives and the conservatives. Well, how did that work out when Lincoln was assassinated? What the first thing Johnson did was stop Reconstruction. And here we are. We're still paying for the for our ancestors' inability to finish the job of Reconstruction, and because of racism, our original sin. So, all right, let me see. Where are you guys? Where are you? But let's see. Yes, I know. Thom is great. Guys in the chat. Let me see. So Thom wrote an article today, and I guess we can discuss it too, about oligarchy. He says Republicans. Brutal oligarchy plot is dangerous and must be stopped now. What's more important, democracy or great wealth? I'll just read the beginning. Some years ago, Trump's economic advisor, Stephen Moore, before he was Trump's advisor, was a guest on my radio and TV program. I asked him, which is more important, democracy or capitalism? Without hesitation, he answered capitalism. That philosophy of capitalism being more important than we the people, democracy, has held the Republican Party in its thrall for the past 40 years and has brought America to a moment of great crisis and danger. It has transformed America from a democracy to an oligarchy, and the point of no return is now visible. Okay, and we'll wait for Thom to finish. And it reminds me, another thing we're going to talk about, I'm not sure how long Thom is going to stay. I will have him for as long as he wants to stay, of course. So, but I'm sure he's doing a lot of interviews for his book. But we will, later on in the show, we're going to talk about Bloomberg, Michael effing Bloomberg, the Republican mayor of New York City, who ran for the Democratic nomination for president, and he was on, I don't understand, he was on MSNBC, the liberal media. Why do we have to check in with Michael Bloomberg? It's this obsession, this veneration of concentrated wealth, of Bloomberg. Let's check in with Bloomberg. What does he think about the pandemic. He literally said that the president, Joe Biden, needs to go after the teachers' unions, so because they are balking about going back to school because they don't want to die, okay, and they don't want to spread the pandemic. But Bloomberg's advice to them was, "Oh, suck it up. There's risk in everything." It's always somebody else's risk, though. There's risk in everything. You're talking about death. There's nothing. There's no second chances when you're dead. Unbelievable. So we went from, in the interview, from him saying how faux upset he was because all of his callousness was supposedly because he cares about the poors, peoples who need school. Poor children need school because the parents can't take a day off of work. Yeah, well, is this the problem of the school, or is the school a reflection of the sick-ass society? The parents can't take a day off of work. Well, that's a big problem, but not in Bloomberg's eyes. The problem for him is that the parents aren't desperate enough because they're in a union. So, therefore, the union is the problem. And the union, this is his advice to Joe Biden, was to go after the union, the teachers' union, because the teachers aren't sucking it up enough. Suck it up? These bastards. Billionaire. I mean, the guy, who cares what he says? Every corporate media mouthpiece, where let's check in with Jeff Bezos, let's check in with Elon Musk, let's check in with Mike effing Bloomberg. Who cares? These people. It's like, let's get a grip, America. Venerating billionaires, that's not what America is supposed to. Oh, it's America, it's innovation, it's anybody, it's the American dream. No, that is not the American dream. The American dream isn't you too can be a billionaire. The American dream is everybody deserves a decent life. Hard work. If you work one job, you should be able to live, not have to have a side gig and a side hustle or a second job. This is what the American dream, and this is what we'll talk about with Tom. I know, I keep saying. I guess I'm just whatever. I'm nervous. Nobody cares. I'm nervous. Whatever. I just like Tom a lot, and I'm really not. You know how many effing technical problems we have on this show. So, God, I've been practicing. All right, we're going to call him. Even though it's a minute early. All right. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Thank you, Resin Rebel, for your super chat. And thank you, Errol Thomas, for your super chat. The Republican Party remains as nothing but a circus. Yes. Uh-oh. No one's answering. No answer. Isn't this what I thought? Let's try again. Oh, maybe, don't even tell me this is fucked up. Oh man, this is the number. All right. Let me look. Hold on, guys. I'm looking in my email. Bum, bum. Who is it? Ba-da, bum, ba-da. Everyone knows it's Wendy. Beep bop, Wendy. And this where is Tom? Thom is not online. Not online. Who is it down the streets of the city? Everyone knows it's windy. Let me see. Why can't I find his number? And I'm screwed after all of the talking about it. It is not gonna do. This is not gonna do. I just lost half of my listeners. Everyone knows it's me. Beep, bop, beep, boop, bop. I cannot fuck shit. Holy moly. I did. Let me try one more time. Let me see. Son of a bitch. Why is it? This is what happens to me. Me. Eh. Oh my God. Yes, I got his Skype number. Let's try. That's him, man. That's him. Yeah, he's not answering. What the fuck? Well, that's great. Life sucks. Let me see. And I didn't even set up my effing shit. I didn't even set up my. Let me set up the phone line. Now you're getting to see how we make the donuts. Hold on. What? See, this is what happens. And then we'll try to get him to call. We'll just have to cut all this part out of the podcast. Or you can hang out. Just hang out for a minute. Now we have to put the password in. Everything sucks. Why am I singing this song? I don't know why. Everyone knows my show sucks. 'Cause this is what happens when you try to do something good. You just get all fucked in the ass. All right. Let's see. Start the show. Start that. Then I got to do this. It's a process. He's not even gonna be around when I call his cell. Why does my life end up like stupid? What the fuck is happening to me? Well, like I say, you do it anyway. Everyone knows my show sucks. My show is just what? Nobody's gonna be like, people are gonna fucking tune in. They're gonna be like, what is this? My show is just fucked. All right, here we go. We're gonna call the call-in studio. I should have done this, but that's what happens. I didn't hope for the best.
Thank you for calling Call-In
for the
Studio's
worst.
host and call screener line. Please enter your show number and press pound.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio
right.
web interface.
Let me see now.
Show recording is on. Dual channel.
Now let's try to text Tom. Beep ba 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 ba. Let me see. All right. Oh, Tom. He just followed me on Twitter. Let me see. 503. Oh, I can't say his number. That's so. What am I? Oh my God. The hell? I almost. This is how ridiculous I am. Hold on. Oh, okay. He's on Skype. We're doing it. It's happening. Hold on. It's happening. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on, guys. It's happening. It'll happen. Hold on. Just call the guest line. Wait. Come on, paste. All right, I gave him the number to call the guest line. Everybody still there? How's everybody behaving? Hold on. Oh, don't tell me the call-in fucking line dropped. You see this shit, guys?
For calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line, please enter your show number and press pound.
Oh, fuck. I hit the wrong number. Fuck. That's not it.
That was an invalid show number.
Yeah, I know.
Please re-enter.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface. Show recording is on. Dual channel.
Okay, Tom is on the line. Thom Hartmann, is that you? Oh my God. I'm so, you know what? This happens all the time. I think there's a Buddhist principle that when you're making great leaps forward, there you run into obstacles. So I was really looking forward to talking to you. So that's I don't, I'm not surprised. We have this problem. So thank you for sticking it out and calling the guest line. Everybody on the phone right now. We have somebody who I have to tell you, I'm kind of nervous because you're like a hero of mine. And I don't know if you remember that we actually went out to dinner once. Do you remember that?
Years ago?
Yes. We, not just me and you. We went out with I used to field produce for Mike Malloy, and we went out during the Families USA Radio Row, and Mike was on your show that night, and we went out and we went to a lovely vegan Mexican restaurant, I remember. And that was, I mean,
nice to hear from you again, Tara.
I know, right? It's been a long time. So, but I always remember because, I don't eat meat either. You didn't eat meat. And so we went to this wonderful restaurant, and that's when you lived in Washington. So you're in Portland now, right?
Yeah.
So, well.
Yeah, I am.
Congratulations. I guess you got out in time before the insurrection. So all is well. So, Thom, your book, The Hidden History of American Oligarchy. And I have to tell you, I read it from cover to cover. It's part of your series. And I really think that this book should be required reading for at least high school students to get a true background of the history of the United States, because we're in real jeopardy. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, this is the third time that the United States has been almost taken over by oligarchs, essentially fascist oligarchs. The first time was, when the South consolidated under the ownership, basically, of a relatively small number of plantation owners because of the cotton gin, which is a whole other long explanation. And they challenged, and they just didn't want democracy in the North. I mean, it was a threat to their way of life. Right. And they declared war on us. The second time was in the 1930s, when a bunch of wealthy businessmen tried to hire Smedley Butler. They had already recruited 100,000 veterans, fascist veterans, to march on the White House and kidnap or kill Franklin Roosevelt. And Roosevelt put them back in a bottle, and they stayed there until the 1980s. And then Reagan unleashed the current, and the Supreme Court unleashed the current crop of oligarchs. And, the pinnacle of their efforts was January 6th, but they have by no means gone away. And the threat is not even substantially diminished, frankly, in my opinion. No,
it's not at all. In fact, I think it's probably worse now. They're not conceding. They're not going. They're not pouring. They're basically pouring fire on top of the fire. They're playing the both sides game too, which is really concerning. And it's an old trick. And that is an old fascist trick, too. So that's why I'm saying your book is important, because we really need to see what is behind the curtain here, because it does come down to money and politics. And one of the things I like about your book is that it has solutions in it as well. So it's not just, you're not just giving us the problem. You're telling us, and this is what we talk about on my show as well. How do we take back this country from the oligarchy? Because it really is the big moneyed interest. From the time human beings crawled out of the primordial ooze, we've had this tension between the haves, the have it all, and the have, nothing. And they play that divide and conquer game on us all the time, while they ride us to the bank. The fact that the billionaires have increased their wealth, it's so real, it's vulgar in this pandemic.
Over $1 trillion in 9 months.
It's disgusting. And that says it all.
Mind-boggling.
And I know did you see Did you see Morning Joe? I know that I listen to your show. Do you watch Morning Joe every now and then? I know I do. It's like I hate watch Morning Joe.
Yeah, Louise and I get up early. We get up around 5, and we'll put on MSNBC, and typically we'll catch 10 or 15 minutes of the show. I don't have the time to watch the whole show, but it's kind of a noise in the background.
Right.
Why?
Because they had Michael Bloomberg was on this morning, and it's just endemic of this subservience to billionaire. Well, let's get this billionaire in here and let him. And he sat there for 20 minutes pontificating on unions, that Joe Biden needs to go after unions, and the teachers unions need to suck it up. I mean, this is what he was saying, and they're and pretending to be concerned about the poor. That's why he's saying, "Oh, the teachers union. Oh, it's so bad for the poor," and like they give a crap. And so that's part of the reason. Now, your show, and you have the #1 talk show, the #1 liberal talk show in America, and there is, I believe, and I tell this to the listeners all the time, is there is nothing more important in this country. I mean, of course, getting involved, like you say, become a committee precinct person, and getting involved is one thing, but we need to own the message too. So what you're doing is we won't win without reclaiming the message and pulling the covers.
What you're doing too.
Yeah, well, thank you. And you know what I want. This is what part of. I'm really glad that you're on the show, and that we can plot the revolution now. Finally, it's been so long. So it's because we really need to. And this is what when I spoke to AOC, and she's my representative, and I told her, in our conversation, I said, we need to reclaim the mantle of patriotism, because that's what we're talking about. Reining in the oligarchy is not just a good thing to do. It's not just nice. It's not just fair. It is a patriotic imperative. Either we do that, or we don't have a democracy anymore. It's over. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. And we have been sold a false patriotism that has been wrapped up in toxic masculinity.
Yep.
And other countries have been sold that same kind of false patriotism before. It happened in Italy in the 20s, in Germany in the 30s. It happened in Hungary in the early 2000s. It's happening all around the world. It's happening in the Philippines right now. It's happening in Brazil.
Yep.
It's happening in Egypt. It's happening in Turkey. And it's happening here. And we have to recognize it. That's not patriotism. That's some kind of phony BS thing that actually seeks to damage government.
Yes.
By and for the people.
That's right. And the attack on the Capitol, that wasn't just 4 years in the making. That was the seeds were sown for that in the Reagan Revolution. All of this government is the problem. Government, the 9 most dangerous words are "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." What do you expect? These people have no respect for government. They have. I mean, when I watch them rampaging through the Capitol, I don't know about you, but I was enraged watching this. It really felt personal, and it was so distressing and disgusting. But that's where it comes from. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. They've been sowing that seed. And that's the oligarchy. Yeah. No doubt. That is the oligarchy. Taking away.
They're the ones who put Reagan in power.
That's right. But they don't want the only entity, government, that can stand up to them. They want us hating the government and venerating these billionaires. And to me, like, I'm not, like, for example, during the one of the debates, the Democratic debate, what's his name? Chuck Todd was like saying to Bernie. Bernie said, oh no, he said, Bernie, you don't think billionaires should exist? And then he turns to Michael Bloomberg. Mr. Bloomberg, should you exist? Remember that? I mean, what kind of shit is this? It's like we have to feel bad for the billionaires and the way it's framed. So when you talk to some big wigs in the government, this is one of the things I wish and I hope will take root in the way that we talk about our progressive initiatives, that we're talking about patriotism. We're talking about putting e pluribus unum into action. That's how you unify the country. Not just by putting, a diverse cabinet in place. Universal health care, universal higher education, living wages, all of these, money out of politics. We have to push them as patriotic imperatives. Anyway, I know I'm monopolizing this conversation, but your book has gotten me. It's exciting that you're out there talking about this, because otherwise we're done. We'll have Michael Bloomberg on MSNBC saying capitalism works. This is what he was saying this morning. Capitalism is work. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times. I think 3 times he said capitalism works, and he was talking about the healthcare system, and he was like, "Yeah, well, if you go to you go to the hospital, and if the hospital's good, they donate to the hospital, and that capitalism works." This is what he was saying. So, anyway.
just what we need, more pontificating billionaires.
I know.
But you've done a great job of encapsulating my book, Tara. I appreciate
I know. I did read it from cover to cover. No, I
can tell.
It's like you're my professor. Well, they call you professor, so that's and you definitely earned it. So, but when when I spoke to AOC, that's what I was telling her. Or suggesting, because we really need. Because one time I remember I went to see Jerry Nadler in a town hall, and because I live in New York, and I asked him, because we were pushing healthcare. And I was saying we have to frame it in a way that conservatives will they can't argue with it. You can't argue with an American ideal of we don't leave anybody behind. That's really what we have to propose. We don't leave
but they've
people.
reframed that as there's a bunch of people who have chosen to be left behind.
That's right. Exactly.
It's a choice, don't you know?
Right. That's freedom, and they have falsely claimed the mantle of patriotism, of freedom. I mean, patriots don't leave anybody behind. That's why, if I hear another Democrat quoting Reagan, I don't know, I'm going to vomit. The Democrats do more to rehab the Republican Party than the Republicans do themselves. And they don't really have an interest. Anyway, I'm sorry. Keep on. Keep on talking. This is Tarabuster. I mean, that's why they call it Tarabuster. So.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
you're spot on. I'm sitting here nodding my head. I'm totally with you, Tara.
It's true, but I'm very I don't know. One of the things I want to see before I step off this mortal coil is this country joining the rest of the world with universal health care, universal higher education, living wages. And it's kind of heartening when, I don't know if you've been, of course you've been watching Joe Biden, but he's not playing the I don't know, it doesn't seem to be playing the triangulation game. He's sort of like,
no, he's not being a sucker like Bill Clinton was, and frankly Barack Obama.
Right.
They actually believed that they could work with the Republicans, and they took Mitch McConnell they believed he was telling them the truth, and he was lying through his
Right.
teeth, as were the rest of the Republicans. All they care about is pure power that they can translate into cash. Period.
That's
Full
it.
stop.
That's it. So, and this is why what we do, what you do. I mean, you have the largest platform, and you get the Republicans to come and talk to you. On some level, I think. And when I I don't really talk to them on this show because I don't have the patience. It's sort of like we have to keep evolving without them, and they come kicking and screaming along. But you have I don't know, you have a lot of patience to talk to them because.
Well, it's been a while since I've been able to get Republicans to come on the show. It's been actually. I haven't had a Republican elected official on the program in probably 5 years. I mean,
wow.
Since the beginning of the Trump era, they just have made themselves very, very scarce. And
right, wow.
Which is unfortunate because I think debate is a good thing. And even their shills, even their their think tank people and stuff are not willing to come on the program anymore.
Wow, that's probably because they don't want to upset the king, and they also don't want to join in with him. What are they going to say besides, I haven't seen the tweet? That's what they would say. I haven't seen it. I haven't heard it. And even when you have them on tape, they change it. Like, for example, when they had the tape, I think it was the Washington Post had the tape of the Republican meeting where they thought they joked and said, "Oh, this stays between us. We think that Trump he's a Russian agent." And they denied it until the Washington Post said that, well, we have it on tape. And then they were like, oh, we're just kidding. You know what I mean? So there is no currency in truth anymore. And that's a dangerous step in this whole oligarchy game. Because that's really what it comes down to. The rich riding us all and they have from how many times? This country is so young, and we've had to throw off the oligarchy. Now we're in the third time, and it's at least, when you look at the first Republican Great Depression, the working people of the time understood who they were up against. It doesn't seem like they understand it now. You know what I mean? They don't see. They venerate.
You can thank Rupert Murdoch for a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's this giant machine, this giant propaganda machine. Obviously not just Murdoch, but he's probably the most influential.
Right.
Yeah. And
right.
He did the same thing to the UK and Australia as well. Kevin Rudd, the former Prime Minister of Australia, wrote an op-ed in the Sydney Morning Herald 2 years ago called "Rupert Murdoch is the cancer on Australian democracy."
Wow. Yeah.
Called him out.
Right. But then even this is what's so concerning too, because it really does go back to the Telecommunications Act with, the DLC Democrats deregulating media and creating these silos of information where now people are in an echo chamber, and then they can play that both sides game on us, which my mother used to say to me, oh, well, then you do say one thing and they say another. And people think that there's some kind of middle that's the truth, but it's not. It's not an opinion. We're fighting we're really fighting to finish the American Revolution, in a sense, to make a more perfect union, for all. Really, to have a functioning democracy, not an aspirational one, or one in name only, like in the Roman Republic, where if we could go back in time and interview an average Roman citizen during the time of Augustus, he or she, they would say they were in a republic. And it wasn't until 200 years later they started to concede, oh, okay, yes, he was the first emperor. So I find, when you look at history, when they sent Hitler to jail, and they came down hard on Hitler. He wasn't allowed to speak for, I'm not sure if it was 10 years or something. They had a moratorium. He wasn't allowed to publicly speak. And 10 years later, he came back, and look what he did to Germany. I fear that's what's going to happen to the United States with this con man and his entire party of enablers. They're not going against him. They're not. So what do we? I mean, the only thing we do, okay, now reading your book, is the one thing that we really have to do. I mean, we all have to do, get money out of politics and make the government work for the people again, of course. But we can't get anywhere without owning the message. And we have to get this message out. That's what I'm trying to say. It has to become in the American consciousness. It has to be. It just has to be understood as, okay, in America, we don't, for example, okay, Joe Biden, when he was running for the nomination, and his health care plan was fixing Obamacare, quote unquote, but it still left 10 million people behind. So in any other country, would that even be a feasible proposal where we have a plan and what is it? Why would you leave 10 million people out? That's not e pluribus unum. That's not America. And they would fight. We would have Democrats coming on saying things like, well, unions negotiated these great plans, and we don't want to take those great plans from people. But so because some unions got a good plan, we're going to leave millions out? How is that? And then we hear both left and right talking about unity. How are we going to unify? We're so divided. Well, they divided us. When you have yours, and you're not supposed to care about the millions that have nothing, how are we ever going to be unified under this? And it's the perfect scenario for the greedy and the immoral to corrupt, and they've done it. It's really frightening, frankly. I don't know. Sometimes I wish I wasn't paying attention, but you know what I mean? Because it is overwhelming.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it can be. I think it can also be energizing.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm totally with you. And Tara, you've done a great job of articulating those things, and I can, not a lot I can add to it. And
right.
And I think that dinner is ready.
All right.
I got to run here.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and everything, and for the book, and for listening also, and being on the front lines of this fight. Because if anybody, when they write the history of this time, you will be someone, I believe, who will be incredibly influential and remembered for the work that you've done. So thank you for everything, because you've been...
Time will tell.
Depends on who wins, I guess.
I'm old and persistent. Just like Mike Beloy was.
Right.
Just like you are. Not that you're old.
I know. Well, I am old, so it's okay. Wise. Old and wise. And ornery.
There you go.
All right, Tom. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tara. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. My
Great
love to Louise. Bye-bye.
I'll pass it along. Bye-bye.
All right. That was Thom Hartmann. But I feel like I was talking so much. I felt like I had diarrhea of the mouth, but I couldn't stop. So I couldn't stop myself. And he wasn't talking a lot, so then I got nervous and I would just jump in again and start talking even more. And then I would think, I'm talking too much. But whatever. I don't know. I also wanted to get him to I wanted to put these ideas in his head. Not that he doesn't have the ideas, but to push those thoughts with the people that he has contact with, like the politicians that come on his show. I want him, and that's why every politician that I meet, I say, we need to reframe our initiatives as patriotism. And Jerry Nadler, when I said that to him, he basically brushed it off. AOC, when I said that to her, she was interested. But it really, that's how it is. It's about framing our arguments as patriotism, because that's what it is. We are the patriots. Is that a word? I'm still not recovered from my horrible interview. You're funny. I'm such a douchebag. I'm sorry. I'm not an interviewer. I'm just I'm just me. This is just Tarabuster. So what do I know about fucking interviewing people? I just know how to talk. Oh. But it is true. It's probably better to just talk amongst us where I don't have to feel nervous. I don't know why I was so fucking nervous. But I did read the book. I'm not kidding. I read it from cover to cover. And it is, now that he's not here, I could feel a little bit more relaxed. But I do recommend it, not just because he was on the show, but because it is a succinct and palatable, concise history of oligarchy in this country. And it also, and you know, it's everything we talk about on the show. And it also has the solutions. So I suggest this is something you could, and it doesn't take long to read. I mean, it's not a long book. So, for example, Breaking Oligarchy. I mean, he has the whole last half of the book is all about restoring this country or reclaiming democracy, having a functioning democracy instead of one in name only. Here, look. Tyrants always corrupt the police. Tyrants' tools, obedience. Notice the symbols. Here, breaking oligarchy. Let's see. If oligarchy is to be broken, the connection between the oligarch's money and the political process must be severed or at least dramatically impaired. The media empire. Hello. That's what we talk about on the show all the time. That's the problem. Because, speaking of, let's just groove on, let's just relax for a minute. Let me relax. I don't do drugs anymore, so I have to just breathe. Hold on. If you want to call in, the phones are on. You can call. Just be gentle. Just be nice to me. I know my show sucks. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Let me see. There's my lower third. The show doesn't suck. Oh, that's the book. The Hidden History of American Oligarchy. See, I even made I made a full screen. Okay, that's Tom. He's not on the phone anymore. So we do that. Where's the damn phone number? Boom, ba-da-dum, boom. Does this show suck? Let's see. Is that the phone number? Call me now. There we go. If you want. You don't have to. I'm just trying to relax. Trying not to overthink my stupid interview that I sucked. And I was, you know what else I did today? I was watching other interviews to to try to get some pointers, but obviously it didn't work. I need to just stick to just fucking talking. Oh my God. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed for myself. There was, you know what it reminds, now I'm thinking about a time. One time a friend of mine was, she was in I don't know why. I guess she wanted to do something besides drugs. This is when I was doing drugs. When I was younger, when doing drugs was just, it was still fun. It wasn't a career yet. And so we went to this, she joined a dance group, and it was a local dance recital. So it was all ages, young and old. And, well, old. I don't know how old, but older than me. I was young, so it could have been like 30 was old or 40 at the time. And so part of the show had a conga line. I mean, and you know it sucked. Like every show that a conga line. And my friend was leading this. It was like the all cast. It was the big finale. And she was leading the conga line. And the conga line was like went on the stage and circled around and down the stairs and up down the center aisle in the theater. And as she was leading the conga line and dancing, she looked at me. Our eyes met, and she mouthed, "I'm so embarrassed." But you know, not realizing, I guess, in that moment that the whole theater can see you because you have a spotlight on you. So they just saw you mouth, "I'm so embarrassed." Which really was the best finale that show could have had anyway. Because the show did suck. I mean, it was this a recital on Staten Island, okay? No wonder I was a drug addict. I was like, get me out of here. All right. But it was the interview that bad? It was okay, right? Even though I talked my ass off, only because I felt like he wasn't talking. And then it was like I was stuck in it started to cycle out of control. Like, and whenever I shut my mouth, I kept thinking, did I say that right? Or, you know what I mean? And then he wasn't responding. So I felt I had to jump in. You know what I mean? This is how it goes. It's terrible. Terrible, terrible. But I hope we accomplished what we set out to accomplish, which was to get him to to tell these politicians how to frame their arguments. We know we're right. I interviewed myself. I know. Andrea on the chat. Oh my God. Well, really he was plugging his book, so I guess it was a good plug for the book. I'm so embarrassed. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Because I could feel like a knot in my stomach. I have to put the air on. Because I can't even fucking talk. I mean, I feel so stupid. Oh my God. What is wrong with me? And I tried. Let me see. Who said? Somebody better say something. Wait until you watch the video. Why? Why, Andrea? It sucks? I can't watch it then. Is it really bad? It's bad. Are you saying it's bad, Andrea? Are you really? I don't want to hear that. Okay. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any constructive criticism. That's it. I'm taking the phone number down. Fuck it. Wait a minute. Andrea, I can't stop laughing. Why? At me? Because I suck? What? You're laughing at me? You hate me? What are you doing that to me? Why are you saying that? You can't stop laughing because I suck? Why are you doing that? Why do I suck? Why are you doing that to me? You trying to make me not sleep tonight? Oh, God. I'm so embarrassed. Okay, I'm going to have to write him a letter tomorrow and say, I'm so fucking embarrassed. I had diarrhea of the mouth. And I could not stop. I'm an asshole. I couldn't stop talking because I was so nervous, but I hope that we can do it again. I was only nervous because I really like him. I think I admire him. And I appreciate him. I appreciate the work he's done. He's written 20 friggin' 5 books. How do you do that? God damn it. How do you hello? There are people in this, that whole riot, that whole Capitol riot hasn't read 25 books, much less write it. So, how do you write 25 books? Really? How? Yes, I've met other well-known people, and I did go out to dinner with Thom. You know what it is, I guess? This is true, but he didn't remember, of course not. He remembered going out to dinner with Mike. I think he remembered after, because he was probably like, who's this woman with Mike? He probably thought I was like his side hustle, you know what I mean? And it was a lovely time. All I can say. We had a good time. We have a lot in common. Could you imagine me on a date? Oh my God. It's horrible. Where's my cats? I need my cats here. Yeah. Shut up, Andrea. Did you let him talk at dinner? You son of a bitch. I tried. You bastards. You're so mean to me. People are mean. I'm gonna tell him that everybody razzed me in the chat room for not shutting up and letting you talk. Why didn't I let him talk? What the fuck is wrong with me? Why couldn't I do one thing right? What's wrong with me? Oh, God. All right, I have to shut this Skype down. Could you imagine listening to this show on a podcast? This is like what my shrink goes through, I bet. It's true. Could you imagine being my therapist? That's got to be a fucking... I got to read those notes, man. My shrink, well, I don't see him now. He's on the phone. But he was always writing notes. And I want to fucking know what he's saying on his notes. You know? Oh my God, Ultra Magnus. Next time, have your questions written out, ask, and then pause. Yeah, that's the basics, right? You son of a bitch. Oh, fuck. And I fucking, tried to prepare. You don't even know. Let me see. What do you mean? Ultra, there won't be one. Are you saying a next time? Oh my God. It was that bad? Holy Christ. It was really that bad? Was it really bad? Be honest. Or do an interview with your shrink? No, Greg. And what? You're going to have him call and say how fucked up I am? I'm not that fucked up. It used to be worse. God help me. You have too many ideas. It happens to good people. What the fuck? So it did suck. Because everybody is trying to be supportive. Now I'm going to be depressed. God! Why? Why do I suck? All right, let's get to work here. All right, I have to shake it off. Shake it off. I really am gonna text him and call him and say, well, I won't call him. And say, I'm so sorry. I'm a fucking asshole. The hidden history of Tara Devlin, Greg says. Well, that's something. Okay, Paradu, that's nice of you. No, it did not suck. It didn't suck. It could have been better, but it wasn't a complete hot mess. Okay, thank you, Resin Rebel. You were just excited. Don't sweat it. I was. Thom Hartmann, the #1 liberal talk show host in the country, on this fucking show? On my show? That means something. And you know what else, guys? They contacted me. Okay? They came to me. So that really made me think, wow, that's great. Maybe the show is getting somewhere. All right, well, let's talk about what I was talking about. I wanted to talk to Tom about. Wait, something in my mouth. And the thing that pissed me off, and this is why I will reiterate with Tom that what he's doing and what we're doing here, I'm not kidding. I don't just say that to get patrons, all right? Or to guilt you into becoming a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. I do it because it's the truth. Every authoritarian has... what do? They take over the media. This is why we need the liberal media. This is why they're dumb. Because they have been systematically dumbed. Imagine all those dumb people who think that, Anderson Cooper eats babies. Imagine those dumb people, instead of being exposed to QAnon, they were exposed to the E Pluribus Unum as an action plan, progressive policies / patriotic initiatives that will rebuild the middle class. Let's imagine these people. They're not smart. They want to, I don't know, be a part of something. I don't know. But the fact is that if they encounter the message, the patriotic progressive message, that is unapologetic too, because we are on the right side of history and the right side. We are. The United States is a patriotic imperative or initiative is a better word, I guess. There's nothing more progressive than overthrowing a king and an aristocracy. And there is nothing less patriotic than reestablishing that aristocracy. So that's why what we do is so important, because those people are out there and they're starving for information, clearly. No, they must be looking for something. I mean, maybe some of them get turned on to this shit, the bullshit, by their friends or whatever. Their stupid friends. But when that's, when the conservatives, the fascists, they understand, and I just talk about this all the time because it's the truth. The billionaires fund the right-wing media. They do. They do it on purpose because they understand when that idiot, that QAnon victim, goes online, when he's, looking for something to masturbate to, and he goes online and he encounters whatever message they want, the message to be their message, their bullshit oligarch kiss up, kick down, I got mine, sucks to be you, welfare queens and caravan bullshit, divide and conquer message. Ugh. Oh, you're nice, Stephen Davis. I'm reading that. I've been looking forward to hearing Thom Hartmann talk about his latest book. Tara, you, Tom, and Stephanie Miller are on the top of my list. Keep up the fight. Thank you, Stephen. Why don't you do me a favor, guys? If you can, tell Thom Hartmann on Twitter or wherever that you bought his book after hearing on Tarabuster. I don't get a kickback or anything. Or just tweet him. Say, I heard you on Tarabuster. I love you. Tarabuster, you great interview. Don't, lie. Lie. Say it was a great interview. Like Twitler. Like if Twitler did an interview like that, he would just go on and say it was the greatest interview like nobody's ever seen. Like nobody's ever seen, like nobody's ever seen. So, tell him it was the best, the biggest, the best, the most, the bestest, the bestest, the mostest, best interview of all the interviews you've seen. This one was the best. Yes. Ultra Magnus says, Tara, you have a great show and you're funny AF as fuck. Sometimes you can be all over the place. Yes, you just need a little more structure on the show. It is true. Guilty as charged. It's true. It's tough because it's just me. I don't have a producer. That's why I say become a patron at patreon.com, and then maybe we could get some more structure because I just do the show. Of course, I don't plan it out. Did you know that back in the Air America days, Rachel Maddow used to write out her entire script for her radio show? She used to write it out. Isn't that crazy? Hours and hours of typing. I can't do that. But let's see. Anyway, yes, no, I am all over the place. But when I do a show, I'll tell you my process, if it matters. I see what the fuck is going on. Okay? I write shit down. I do. I take some articles. You don't even know. Sometimes I have like 50 fucking articles, of course. That's why, yes, it needs to be, this is now we're going to talk about this. Now we're going to talk about that now. But it's true. I am all over the place because, you know why? Because when you say that, I'm thinking, because everything is connected. I don't know if you know. In my mind, well, how could you know? It's all connected. All right. Interviews, maybe. Yeah, I like to do interviews. Paradu says, no structure, please. Interviews, maybe. Yeah, structure. I don't know. What's structure? What is structure? Truth. What is truth? What is structure? So everybody who's listening right now should go to Thom Hartmann's Twitter. I know that he reads his Twitter, and tell them that you loved the interview. Okay, tell them. Just lie. Don't. It doesn't have to be true. And plus, I have. You don't even know. Like right now in my mind, I'm thinking of all the things I didn't say. That I wanted to say. You know what I mean? It's like meeting somebody and saying like, I've been waiting for you, and I wanted to, because I've been wanting to tell him and anybody who will listen to please push this. I know I'm right. Don't you? You understand? You get it. It is the truth. Where we have to take patriotism back. We have to frame our policies in a way unapologetically that is palatable for the right and the left. That's how you got to frame it. In fact, they've done studies on climate change. They did marketing studies. How do you market to different political persuasions, left and right? So they found when they were marketing the renewable energy or anything to do with climate change, and they marketed it to the right-wingers who are been listening to bullshit about climate change, and if they framed the argument or whatever they were pushing in a patriotic frame, saying, for example, we suggest you do this, buy this car with renewable energy because it will preserve the country or preserve Earth for future generations. And that is a message that resonated with them. If you framed it in a way that was patriotic, it was about keeping, like I say about these right wingers, they hate America because how do you love America and you use America like a streetwalker? You blowing holes in the Purple Mountain Majesty, blowing the tops off of the mountains, fracking the fruited plains. Yeah, you don't love America. You're like a pimp saying, get out there, bitch. Bring me back that money. You don't care what you're doing to her. And no offense to I don't know, streetwalkers, whatever. What do I know? And that's that. And I'm trying to remember what it was with the progressives, how the same thing that they were trying to sell. I think it was sort of like, it was a message that was good for everybody or whatever, because we're more normal, we're more humane. All right, let's play. All right, relax, everybody. Breathe. I almost stopped breathing too during the interview, and I had to remind myself to breathe. Now I'm joking. And when the first time I was in Washington D.C. with Mike Malloy, and I field produced his show when he was on the road, and he asked me to come on the show to talk about, because I went out during breaks and whatnot and in between shit. Oh, hi, Tara Jr. Come on. Come on, honey. I need you. Come on. Good boy. Tara Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, Tara Jr. Oh, that's loud. Woo. Relax. Look at him. Look at the baby. Look at the camera. Come on. Look, honey. Isn't he cute? So, anyway, Mike Malloy said, so I was out there interviewing these freaks and geeks, all these teabagger morons, the ones with the signs. That lady whose picture became famous, she was all over the place with the big hand. She had a big Mickey Mouse hand, and it said, "Keep your government hands off my Medicare." I interviewed that lady. I spoke to her. And anyway, so she was nice. That's the thing. But they're so dumb. I had to talk to her like I didn't think she was dumb. I was just asking her what her problem was in a nice way. Why? And she was saying, none of us think that people shouldn't get health care. That was, I remember her. If you need health care, of course you should get it. But we just think what? You just think nothing. You think you're Goldilocks. Government is just right only in the ways that it serves you. Or you think it serves you. Because it serves... They don't fucking know. I mean, they're just racist. That's what it comes down to. This country would already have universal health care if it wasn't for racism. Oh, yeah. So, but what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So then when Mike Malloy, when I came back into the Radio Row area where he was doing the show, he said, "Sit down, Tara, and I want to interview you about what's going on outside." And I remember going, and I sat down, even though I'm a comedian. Do you realize that? I've done that. I don't know how. I would get nervous being on stage. The part I love about comedy? Well, first of all, I love when everything's going well, right? And you're on stage and you're having a good set. But I really like after getting off stage, everything's done, you can just relax. So, but when Mike asked me to sit down and talk about what was going on outside, I was sitting there and I remember all of a sudden I started to think to myself, oh my God, there's like, how many people are listening to my voice right now? And I started to overthink it and I forgot to breathe. And I was like, and then I said, I'm so nervous. And then he said, oh, please. And this was all on the air. And then I relaxed. All right. Let's play the thing that I wanted to scream about today. And that's why when I brought it up with Tom, I know that he watches Morning Joe because sometimes he talks about it. And I also talk about it because when you watch Morning Joe, I want to scream, of course, half the time. This is the corporate media message you're watching. You're watching the billionaire-funded millionaires telling everybody else what's good, what's bad, what's America. It's bullshit. So, and this is why. You know what I'm noticing too is why. Well, you're noticing it as well, I'm sure. They're playing the both sides game with Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC. And on the last show, we talked about how they did that on The View. But they're doing it all over. They're doing it on Morning Joe. As if AOC is so out of whack. She's all... What is so wacky about AOC? She's not a whack job. She doesn't think Jewish lasers from space are making a way for high-speed rail. She doesn't think that school shootings are a hoax. She doesn't think that that Joe Biden didn't legally win the election. She doesn't think that a con man, a serial bankrupt, tax-cheating, draft-dodging, dictator-envying con man with a fake university is great because he played a successful businessman on reality TV. What's so loony? You know what's loony? There's nothing loony. They need you to think it is, though. They want you to think it's loony. So whatever she says, you tune it out. Because what she's saying is the progressive prescription that this country needs. There's nothing loony about it. In fact, she's not proposing anything that we already haven't done. High marginal tax rates, right? Money out of politics. Everybody in, nobody out. All of these policies, especially the high marginal tax rates, when she was interviewed on wherever, who was she interviewed by? Was it Chuck Todd? Oh my God, yes. And he was saying she was saying not everybody doesn't pay the high marginal tax rate. It kicks in when you reach a certain level. And Chuck Todd acted as if this is such an out of the ordinary thing to say. How do you say that? What? Like, as if he's never heard it before. And maybe he hasn't heard it before because he's too busy in the cocktail parties with the big moneyed benefactors who pay for his mediocrity. Because that's what he is. He's the mouthpiece for mediocrity. And he's the mouthpiece for corporate whatever. All of them. Boring. Basic. Milquetoast. Nothing. They bring nothing. They say nothing. They don't educate. That's not the point. They're not trying to educate. They are trying to influence. Period. That's all it is. Influence. Yes, Stephanie on the chat. Ilhan Omar was calling out the both sides BS on Chris Hayes' show tonight. Good. I didn't see that. But that's what they're doing. Republicans, they're going after Ilhan Omar. Oh, if you're gonna take Marjorie Taylor Greene off her committee assignments, we're gonna go after Ilhan Omar. So, well, she's got a funny name, right? Go back to your country, remember? Trump, you fuckers. Not you fucker. I'm talking about the fuckers who say that shit. Ilhan Omar. Both sides my ass. Both sides? Kiss both sides of my ass. These right-wingers. F you. Both sides. That's how you know that these right-wingers, they're not to be... There has to be justice. There can be no forgiveness. There's no amnesia. They want insurrection amnesia. Could you imagine if that was Black Lives Matter that did that? You know what would happen? There would be executions. There would have been mass executions on the Capitol steps. Absolutely. They would have brought out the drone. There would be thousands in jail right now, and they would never get out. Absolutely. Tara Jr., you gotta sit over here, honey. Come here, honey. Come here. Look at him, though. Look at this baby. I'm sorry. Why are you so cranky? bad he is to me. He's so mean. You know, he's getting crabby in his old age. Watch. See that? He just grabs my hand. As if my hand is just meant to pet him. That's it. Look. Watch. And I'll take it away. No! Give me that hand back. Watch. And he's so mean about it, too. He's like, get that hand back. Watch. Oh, well, he let me go. Okay. Watch. Oh, okay, he let me go. Good. Usually he just grabs it and it's like, get back here and pet my head. All right. I'm so embarrassed. Why? Why does my life suck? Why can't something be right? Why can't I go through it? Why can't I have a nice interview? Fuck. Why do I have to be like this? All right, now you're back. Why can't it just be a good interview? I want everybody, if you can, everybody who's watching, listening, tweet at Thom Hartmann that you heard him on Tarabuster and it was the best interview ever. And you're buying his book. And you're reading it. Only because of me. How can I ever show my face again? Sit down, Tara Jr. Shit. Hello, baby. Sit. Lay down. He's such a bastard, too. Not Tom. Tara Jr. Okay. If you're listening on the podcast, you're probably like, what the hell? But I don't know. That's Tarabuster for you. It really is. Oh, and thank you, JD, for your super chat. Very appreciated. And yeah, that's how we're going to keep going. Who had Josh Bernstein arrested? What's going on here? All right, listen. Oh, shit. Tara, go lay down. I'm talking to the cat. I'm trying to find this video with... It's going to make you want to puke. Hold on. And the reason we bring it up is we have to dissect these things. You know what's interesting? Actually, I was listening to Thom Hartmann show, and he was mentioning, which I didn't know this, in Norway, let me say, they have the young people of Norway, they teach them media literacy from a young age. Hold on, guys. On my computer, everything just disappeared. Media literacy in school. That's why they have, and they are, as according to the different, the freedom of the press surveys or whatever, they're number one. Freedom of the press, because you cultivate that from a youth. All right. Where's everybody? Where's my friends? You're not down with the stand-up desk? Yeah, he doesn't like it. I like it, though. All right, let's play this video of Bloomberg. Can you believe it? Why? When do they ever give anybody 20 minutes to spew anything? Here.
Over the course of the last year, Johns Hopkins, Bloomberg School of Public Health, in some ways, in terms of data collection and tracking, you've almost taken the place of the CDC. Did you predict it would
Look
be
at
this
him. Is this the set of billions or something? What the hell? And not a good look. He looks like a Lilliputian on that chair. And the other, he's also, I know he's very short, but that's whatever. It doesn't matter. But there was one of the shots in here, and he's swinging his legs. And it doesn't look good for a grown man to swing his legs like that. Are you a child? But anyway, that's beside the point.
Well, I don't know that we're, number one, nobody knew. It always had the potential, and unfortunately, we did not respond the way we should have. People should have all put on masks. Most people did not.
Shut up!
And that's the first thing.
That's true, but who cares? Why are we listening to you? Oh, you're a billionaire. Mr. Bloomberg, should you exist? No. You shouldn't. And nobody should give a shit. Okay? Nobody should care. It's like, who cares what he thinks? Let's go get a whole camera crew. We're going down to Bloomberg's. We're going to have an exclusive with him. Oh, my God. How did he ever get to be mayor of New York? You know how? And he was the Republican mayor of New York, which the DNC conveniently forgot. It drove me insane. Why wouldn't they say former mayor of New York, Republican mayor of New York? But he's a true Republican. He is. But why should we care? But here's how. My father, I remember, during elections or whatever, my father, who was a Republican, I told you guys, a Reagan Democrat, so called, and he said, I asked him, I don't know, we were talking, I don't know how it came up, and then he said, I'm voting for Bloomberg. And I was like, why? And he said, because he can't be bought. That's what he said. And I said, he's already bought. What are you talking about? He can't be bought. So that's what he thinks. Or that's what people think. That, oh, he's a billionaire. He's fine. Like Trump. I'm financing my own campaign. No, he didn't. He's a liar. He was lying. Of course he was a liar. But Bloomberg, he did finance his own campaign, as far as I know. And then he also, when he was the mayor of New York, he bribed of the other Democratic councils to change the law to enable him to run for a third term. And then he bribed these Democratic councils, well, democratically controlled, to change it back after he left. Can you fucking believe it? So he could be the mayor. That was what he wanted. It was a hobby for the billionaire. Oh, I like being the mayor. Who cares? He's a billionaire, but he can't be bought. Any working person, that's what used to drive me insane about my father. If you're a person that trades your labor for a paycheck, you think these billionaires give a shit about you? You gotta be racist. You really are. Because that's the only thing you're getting from them. They're not, he can't help. Bloomberg, could you imagine if he was the Democratic nominee? And we know there were Democrats that wanted to vote for him. They're like, oh, I don't know. I like Bloomberg. You like Bloomberg? He's the Republican mayor of New York. What are you talking about? You like Bloomberg. He's anti-union. What do you like about Bloomy? It really drove me insane how him being the Republican mayor of New York never came up. in any of the Democratic debates. Why? All right, let's continue.
Mask was, you could argue, more important than a vaccine.
The mask.
And
Shut
people
up!
didn't do
Who
it.
cares?
So a lot of people got sick.
Why are we
and a lot of
listening
people
to
died.
him?
My barber gave me a haircut. 3 days later, into the hospital, came out in a box.
So what? I mean, not for the guy, but who fucking cares what his experience? Yeah, it's for real. Oh, we should wear a mask. It's more important than even a vaccine. And this is for real. My barber gave me a haircut. 3 days later, he came out in a box. Whoopie-doo! Bloomy? Whoopie oof and doofy. Oh, he's a billionaire. He created some stock thing. Now we all have to genuflect at his feet. Oh, I hit the wrong button. 3 days later, he came out in a box. This is real. I'm sitting on this bench. I'm swinging my legs like a 12-year-old. Telling you all you peons, what to do. Wear a mask. It's very important. And fuck the unions. Wait. Oh, it gets better.
To us, we're not going to send them to you.
Wait, let's go. Let's go back a little.
The mayors didn't do what they should have done in many cases.
Shut
the
the
hospitals
fuck
could have
up.
done things differently. I think you have to understand when everybody is yelling and screaming and petrified and panicking, there's no right answer.
Shut
and
your
so
mouth.
it's easy to go and criticize World Health Organization.
Who is
That's
this
just a cheap
fucking
shot.
old man?
It's easy to say, well, we shouldn't send vaccine overseas. Yeah, wait until some vaccines
Who
are
cares?
only made
Let's
overseas
pretend we're
and
at
we
the
want them to
bar.
come to us.
There's some old
And
crank.
they say, well, you didn't send them to us. We're not going to send them to you.
Why are
We're
we
in this together.
breaking
The
in?
whole world is in this together. People
Look.
travel.
Look at the lower third. Bloomberg. Our governors and mayors could have done things differently. Wow! What a scintillating commentary. Our governors and mayor. It's like some old crank sitting at the bar. Let's get the whole camera crew down there in a snowstorm. Because it's that important to spend these 20 minutes giving this billionaire a platform. So we can all go, oh, what does Bloomberg think? Bloomberg, he's very rich and therefore he's better than us. Mr. Bloomberg, should you exist? You know what drove me insane? During the campaign, and Bloomberg was saying, I'll spend a lot of money or whatever, billions to get Donald Trump out of office. And people on Twitter would beg Bloomberg hasn't spent any money. Mr. Bloomberg, help us in Georgia. Run some, Mr. Bloomberg. Like, they beg this billionaire. That's not the way it's supposed to run. What you should be doing, what we should be doing is saying, this is a symptom of the sick-ass symptom. I mean, of the sick-ass system. The symptom of the symptom. Where's Tom's book? Hold on. It's a symptom. He is a symptom of the sickness. Jesus Christ. It gets worse.
So if vaccines are the answer, Dr. Tedros, and I know WHO doesn't...
So it's Bloomberg and the head of the WHO and Stephanie Rhule sitting around chewing the fat. But there's nothing else you could play in this 20-minute interview, right? Like, you can't educate the American people in any way, right? There's nothing going on in the world that maybe they want to know about. Maybe you could make this country this country is the second least informed country on Earth. Well, not on Earth, I should say. I guess when they did the survey, it was probably in the Western democracies. The second. I mean, we should be proud. Only the second. We usually are the first. You know, we're number one. number one in income disparity, number one in upward immobility. We were number two in least informed. Number one is Italy, because they have a shitty corporate media like we do.
Enormous amount of work on vaccine equity, meaning how do we get vaccines to the poorest countries in the world? How do people here get convinced that that's a good idea, especially in the United States where we can't get enough vaccines for ourselves?
Wow, how do you convince them? How about you instead of, I don't know, why, somebody help me. How about you use the time? I mean, oh my God. Have you ever seen the BBC? When you watch people, you want to cry. I watch the BBC. I use my VPN. Then you could watch TV in all different countries. And it makes you want to cry. And you really see the difference between what other countries that aren't the second least informed, other countries are getting as far as news. What is this shit? You hear me? This is news. It's a Bloomberg. Who cares? I don't know. Somebody, it's just unbelievable to me how this is going on. They pay her, I'm sure, millions of dollars. To do what? What are you bringing to the table? I mean, where's Amy Goodman, right? There's somebody who actually contributes, who is somebody who informs. You watch Democracy Now! And give that show I watch pretty much, well, not all the time, but for most days I'll watch it. And you get a good perspective on what's happening, and you come out knowing a little bit more than you do going in. What do you know here? That a billionaire is cranky and short and doesn't fit on that chair? It's an unfortunate choice of chairs. And we should wear masks. Oh, okay. Jesus Christ. Wow. It's unreal. It really is unreal. How embarrassing it is. It's as if it's dumbed down. Amusing ourselves to death. That's a book I read when I was in communication school. I wish I had taken the interview class, but you know.
How do you start to convince people that we need to be supplying them to other countries?
It will have economic problem because the economic recovery will not be faster if we vaccinate some parts of the world but not the rest, because in a globalized economy, we will not have global recovery.
Okay, whatever.
So the livelihoods, even in the rich countries, will not return to normalcy. And we will not be able to stop the pandemic. So,
look at him. Wait. Let's just rewind for a second. Look at him. Look at Bloomberg. You comfy? Comfy, Bloomy? Here we go. Wait. How do we convince the rest of the world that we should vaccinate other countries? Well, if you don't vaccinate other countries, if everybody doesn't get a vaccination, because we don't vaccinate the poors, the pandemic comes back, right? We're all connected. Well, maybe you could take 5 minutes, Stephanie, and explain that. Not ask Bloomberg. Who cares what Bloomberg says? Oh my God, you son of a bitch. I'm reading the chat. Eve, tell me about your book would have worked. You son of a... Are you talking to me, Eve? Are you making fun of me? But Tom agreed with you, so victory can be said. Tell me about your book. Yeah, that would have worked. What? Okay. I'm already not going to sleep tonight. Kicking myself in the ass. Was it that bad, Eve? Was it? I can't even look at it. I will not be able to look at it. Because I want to vomit. All right, whatever.
Vaccines. It's not the supply side, because it's coming on, the machines are getting faster, and they're delivering them and that sort of thing. Not quick enough, but it's coming. You will have plenty of vaccine. Our problem is the demand side.
Shut
there are an
up.
awful lot of people who don't want to take the vaccine. The anti-vaxxers, people who have other health conditions, and if everybody doesn't get it, then there's people out there that can infect others. And so it may not be a supply problem as much as a demand problem. Now, you go to the less developed world, and then it's certainly going to be a supply problem because the
Oh, wait, I hit the wrong button.
numbers are so big, and it's going to take a while to get there.
Shut your mouth.
I don't know, Mike. We're here in New York City. There's an awful lot of people who would love to get a vaccine, and we don't have access to it yet. You were once mayor of this city. When you look at the way our cities and states are actually getting them in people's arms, you think we're doing it right?
Well, I'm not in office anymore. Okay?
I'm
I
not.
have criticized the federal government.
What is this accent he has? Anyway, it's particularly annoying.
I've criticized the state governments, and I've criticized...
When he over-enunciates certain words, he's got this heavy, I guess, New York accent. I don't know. Doesn't sound like any New York I've ever been in. And then he over-enunciates certain words to be particularly annoying.
Look at the way our cities and states are actually getting them in people's arms. You think we're doing it right?
Well, I'm not in office anymore.
Office.
I have criticized the federal government. I've criticized the state governments.
Shut
and
up.
I've criticized the city governments. What I would have done day one is turn it over to the professionals. Who are the professionals?
Oh, yeah. Well, we had a con man in the White House, so turn it over to the profession. Oh, good idea. Okay, let's listen more. This brilliant billionaire, he's got so much to say about everything. Help us, billionaires. You're our only hope.
Know how to distribute drugs and vaccines and that sort of thing. They're the big pharmacy companies.
He's not from New York. Where is he from, Andrea? Let's see. I'll look it up. Bloomberg. Let's see. Michael Bloomberg is an American businessman, politician, philanthropist, and author. Yeah, right. He's the majority owner and co-founder of Bloomberg LP. He was the mayor of New York City from 2002 to 2013 and was a candidate for the 2020 Democratic nomination for the president. Bloomberg grew up in Medford, Massachusetts. Well, there you go. That's his accent. And graduated from Johns Hopkins, went to Harvard Business School. He began his career at securities brokerage Salomon Brothers. Who cares? He's annoying. Ugh. And I have a pang of, ugh. in my stomach from that interview. All right. Thank you, JD, for your super chat. Thank you, Traverse J, for your super chat. And thank you, Shadow and Ice, for your super chat. Can everybody should vote in the chat what they think about the interview with Thom Hartmann. All right, ready, set, go. Okay.
And you just hire them. Now, we've done some of that already, but it's been grudging to turn it over. Every governor wants to be able to stand up there and say, I'm making a decision in terms of whether you can open your restaurant, how many people you can put in your restaurant. That should not be left up to the governors. That's where you have health experts. And we're not turning to the health experts.
What are you talking about? Of course they're turning to the health experts. That's why they're making the decisions. They're not just saying, let's close them. Fuck it. They're making the decisions by talking to the health experts. He's not bringing anything to the table.
Experts or the WHO?
Wait. On a scale of 1 to 10, the interview, yeah, I guess so. Why not? Scale of 1 being not good.
CDC, the big pharmacy companies, the big drugstore companies. We know what to do. We just are unwilling to turn it over and let the delivery of the vaccine.
Who the hell said this?
In the hands of the professionals.
Exactly.
But oftentimes people would say that.
On the chat, Shadow and Ice, why do we care about what he says? I don't understand. It's fascinating. Well, this is why this country is, I don't know, I'm putting this over here in the hopes that I don't get dinged for copyright. The machine doesn't ding it.
The pharmacy companies, for example, those are businesses. Do you put that in the hands of businesses? Do you think that the governors don't want what's best for their
Stephanie,
states?
you of anybody should understand capitalism really does work.
Shut up! I'm so sick of these billionaires. Stephanie, she's getting agitated. You gotta understand, capitalism really does work. It does? Have you seen those bread lines? Well, that's capitalism. And yeah, it does work. That's what he thinks works. You need people on the bread lines because you need them nice and desperate. Then they don't stand up to their betters and say, hey, we want a living wage. We demand a country that works for more than just you, Bloomby. Capitalism really does work. It really doesn't. I'm so tired of having to fillet capitalism constantly. Salve it and pet it and encourage it and propagate it. Oh, pass it on. Capitalism works. Really? Capitalism sucks. Capitalism will eat you alive. Capitalism will turn you, your mama, your dog, your goldfish, your daddy, your ancestors. They'll dig up your daddy's bones and they'll turn it into a commodity. That's it. That's capitalism. When I think of capitalism, you know what I think of? The Middle Passage. That's capitalism. Oh, yeah. You're not profitable. You're not going to be profitable. You're too sickly. You're too old. Bye. Over you go. That's capitalism. Capitalism. Screaming mamas and babies being ripped from each other's arms on the auction block. That's capitalism. Yeah, capitalism's... I'm so tired. of the bullshit in this country. That's why part of the show, doing the show. That's Thom Hartmann show, the real liberal media. We have to get this out there. Capitalism without regulation is a monstrosity. No, capitalism doesn't work. It's like they think it's so, it's this infallible, perfect, perpetual motion machine. You don't understand. Yeah, it works for you, Bloomby, don't it? Because you don't have to, you're not on a bread line. You don't have to you don't have to worry if you get sick. You can go to any hospital. You're not one of the people who needlessly die without health care in this country. Capitalism works. When 35,000 Americans die every year, needlessly, that's the term, needlessly. Think about that. Needlessly die. And we're supposed to be like, that's great. Because, patriotism. That's patriotism? That's freedom. Oh, you're free to die. Well, that's not what the founders fought a revolution. So you can e pluribus unum, go F yourself. I got mine, sucks to be you.
I mean, if you give people an incentive to do something, they're going to do it.
Here, this is his explanation of the healthcare system. How, Stephanie, capitalism works. It really, really does. And now he's going to give us a backgrounder on American healthcare. That sucks.
Professionals.
But oftentimes people would say that the pharmacy companies, for example, those are businesses. Do you put that in the hands of businesses? Do you think that the governors don't want what's best for their
Stephanie,
states?
Anybody should understand capitalism really does work. I mean, if you give people an incentive to do something, they're going to do it. Our health and hospital system is based on capitalism. We charge, and better hospitals get donations, and they improve their health care. What's wrong with having experts who know how to distribute stuff? If you're afraid to go to your drugstore and buy cosmetics or drugs or whatever things they sell, I guess you can, but I don't think you really want to do that. These are the professionals.
Well, the reason...
Holy shit. Our system, our health system is based on capitalism. You go and you charge, and then the good ones get... What? What was he saying? He's explaining it to her like she's a 2-year-old. Yeah, it's based on You know how great that is? It's based on capitalism. That's why millions have nothing. And others needlessly die. And then others go on GoFundMe. The number one type of campaign on GoFundMe is for healthcare. That's disgusting. Anybody with a conscience knows that's disgusting.
Good. Our health and hospital system is based on capitalism. We charge, and better hospitals get donations.
Oh, that's it. We charge, and, you got a tumor, and they're like, how much you got? Huh? Your money or your life? You better charge. Oh, well, then you gotta go. You don't have any money. It's capitalism. It really works. And you charge, and your better health places, you get donations. Really? That is some fucking system you got there. If it's so great, why? The precious is so great. Why don't anybody else, any other country, say, gee, they got something really good over there. Let's do it. No, you know why? Any other country that said, we're going to adopt the American model of healthcare, that country would be burned to the ground. You want to see the Capitol riot in every country? The whole country will be in the streets. That's for sure. Could you imagine? They tried to do that in France, or especially France, or in England. Forget about it. Nobody would stand for it. They say, what are you, nuts? What are you, effing nuts? How dare you? The American healthcare system, or in Canada, and even with the Canadians, the polite Canadians. The American healthcare system is a joke. It's an abomination. Jesus. You charge? This is so sick. His explanation of the American healthcare system, it is so vile. You know, Stephanie, our healthcare system is like that. You charge? You charge? For what? How much is a tumor? How much is a broken leg? Oh, can I get you... what about a kidney transplant? I'll see your kidney transplant. I'll arrange you a spinal injury. You charge? Tumors, are very profitable. Tumors and all kinds of, human suffering. There's a charge. Because that's all that matters. And then... especially me sitting here on my stool, swinging my feet. And Stephanie, I figure I'll run as the Democratic presidential candidate, hopeful. Because I don't want to see any socialism. You charge. Like when you're old. And this Medicaid, forget these fuckers. Medicaid and Socialist Security. Oh, don't worry, we'll take care of them. Because you gotta have an incentive. You gotta have skin in the game. As if we don't have skin in the game. Oh, wait, it gets better. It gets better.
And let the delivery of the vaccine be in the hands of the professionals.
But oftentimes people would say that the pharmacy companies, for example, those are businesses. Do you put that in the hands of businesses? Do you think that the governors don't want what's best for their states?
Stephanie, you of anybody should understand capitalism really does work. If you give people an incentive to do something, they're going to do it. Our health and hospital system is based on...
Is that it? That's the only reason you do it? What's your incentive? You selfish prick? Is that it? My incentive to do something? How about to be a decent human being who doesn't suck? How about just a human being? My incentive? What, to pay your taxes and to demand a fair share of the society that your taxes make possible? And say, hey, you know what? We're tired of being ridden to the bank by the ghouls. Let's do what the rest of the world does and have healthcare as a right. Because if anything, if we learned anything from the pandemic, it's that these freaking our for-profit healthcare system is a joke, and it doesn't work. It makes things worse, and we don't have sick leave, or we don't have the freedom to be human beings in this country. The freedom. That's what it means to be free. The freedom to take a chance. The freedom to fail. The freedom to be frail. But you charge? Oh, God, these sick fuckers. Sick. Sick, sick, sick. Everything is a commodity. That's capital. Stephanie, I can't believe you, of all people, somebody who knows capitalism. You're up there on your corporate media mouthpiece network, filleting capitalism every day from sun up to sundown. You, of all people, you should know how much it works. Yeah, it works when you're spreading the corporate line. Oh, that works. They're not going to work for me, though. Capitalism works. Oh, my God.
We charge, and better hospitals get donations.
Oh, we charge, and better hospitals get donations. Is that how capitalism works? And if you're not a better hospital, or let's say, like in the Middle Passage, you charge, and then better slaves get to make the journey across, and then the others get thrown over. Ones who aren't going to make a good charge. You're not going to be able to charge a lot for them. And then they're just useless eaters. And so you throw them over. Right? Sort of like when the useless eaters go and they're like, I'm sick. And you're like, well, we're going to charge. And then you're like, oh, well. The better hospitals get donations, so maybe you can go on GoFundMe. Like when that woman got cancer and the hospital administration told her, go on GoFundMe. That happened in the United States. They said, come back when you're on GoFundMe. And your GoFundMe account is up to 10 grand. But you better come up with a gimmick, because there's a lot of kids on there with cancer and shit, and they looking really pathetic, and they get a lot of people to pull on their heartstrings. So you better come up with some kind of gimmick to make yourself look kind of like useless and pathetic. But when you're begging on the side of the internet superhighway for medical costs, you better be like, oh, help me. I'm a mother. I'm a veteran. I got a baby. I was a baby once. Here's me with my feeding tube. Here's me with my bald head. It's okay, but I'm smiling. I like to put up inspirational quotes with my bald head, saying, everybody, don't let it get you down. That's what I've turned my Instagram page into an influencer account, so I can pay some of these bills. Maybe somebody will sponsor me, and while I'm getting my tumor cut out, they could live stream it. And then you could do some super chats. And then, you charge. That's capitalism. It really does work. It works, Stephanie. You of all people.
Improve their health care. What's wrong with having experts who know how to distribute stuff?
Who the fuck said that was wrong? Did anybody say that was wrong? Nobody said that. They've been consulting the experts. What is this fucking old ghoul doing? What is he saying? His big idea is to get the experts? Yeah, that's what we've been saying. That's why when Dr. Fauci was out there, we were like, oh, Twitler is getting jealous. We want to hear Dr. Fauci, and Twitler put him on the sidelines because he was getting too much attention. Yeah, Joe Biden. Even, I'm not a big fan of Cuomo, but they listen to the experts. They have the experts. De Blasio and Cuomo, they're not just saying, "Oh, let's fuck it, let's close this fucking restaurant, whatever." They're listening. They have the experts. This guy is talk about a useless eater. Not only a useless eater, a parasite. The biggest parasite.
Your drugstore and buy cosmetics or drugs or whatever things they sell. I guess you can, but I don't think you really want to do that. These are the professionals.
What?
Well, the reason people wouldn't.
What is he talking? Wait.
Or whatever things.
Wait, let me go back a little.
Owners don't want what's best for their
Stephanie,
states?
Anybody should understand capitalism really does work. I mean, if you give people an incentive to do something, they're going to do it.
Oh,
The hospital system is based on capitalism. We charge, and better hospitals get donations, and they improve their health care.
Oh, that's it.
What's wrong with having experts who know how to distribute stuff? If you're afraid to go to your drugstore and buy cosmetics or drugs or whatever things they sell, I guess you can, but I don't think you really want to do that.
I have to say that sentence, what he said, that's why I went back to hear the whole thing again. It makes absolutely no sense. So, of course it doesn't make sense. More wasted air. Let's listen again. You ask me. Yes, it's like a capitalism circle jerk loop, stuck in some kind of capitalism Westworld loop, where you're just like me. Doesn't look like anything to me.
The big pharmacy companies.
So wait. Let's just go back here. She says something, and he's like, look at the experts.
Grudging to turn it over. Every governor wants to be able to stand up there and say,
because the governors want to say, I did this, okay.
Making a decision.
No, maybe you. That's the thing. He's projecting onto everybody else. Maybe it's just you. Maybe you want to stand up there and say, look at me. Because look at you now. You're on. Could you imagine that call when the producer goes, can we get you for 20 minutes to just riff on the pandemic? And do you hear this fucking guy? Do you hear him? He really believes his own bullshit. Wait, that's Tara Jr. Tara! Junior's doing that. Junior just hit the buttons. Now I'm in the wrong camera.
Over the course of the last year, Johns Hopkins.
Junior! You rewound the whole thing.
And states are actually getting them in people's arms. You think we're doing it right?
Well, I'm not in office anymore. Okay. I have criticized the federal government. I've criticized the state governments, and I've criticized the city governments.
Oh, wow.
What I would have done day one is turn it
equal
over
opportunity
to the
criticizer.
Who are the professionals that know how to distribute
Must be both sides.
drugs and vaccines and that sort of thing? They're the big pharmacy companies. And you just hire them. Now, we've done some of that already.
Okay,
but
let's try to figure out really what he's saying.
Turn it over. Every governor wants to be able to stand up there and say, I'm making a decision in terms of whether you can open your restaurant.
Oh, Junior, you did it again. Stop. You see, I just want to show you what he's doing. Look. He's like on the computer. I hate when he does this. He pushes me. I don't like that.
How many people you can put in your restaurant. That should not be left up to the governors. That's where you have health experts. And we're not turning to the health experts.
That's not true.
And the health experts or the WHO.
That is not fucking true. We have health experts. We're not turning to the health. I mean, this guy is just a fucking waste of air and time. Time we could have spent in educating and informing people. Honey, I gotta put you down. I gotta. Look, say hello. Yes, he's a good boy. Uh-oh, he's getting mad. You hear him? You hear what I have to hear? You hear what I gotta put up with? Honey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's abusing me again. Look, watch. All right, I'll try. Look. Hey! I think this is Ray, actually. Like, it's Ray's influence. I think he's anxious. Hey, honey, stop that. You're biting me for real now. I don't like it. Now he's licking me. Can't go from biting to... Look at this shit. Honey. What's the matter? Baby. You okay? Yeah. Now your claw's stuck. I think it's Ray making him anxious. That's why I brought the Thunder shirt for him. And he took it off. You okay, honey? This is my number one son. You okay? All right. What, honey? What? Poor baby. A lot of changes. You okay? All right, honey. Good boy. Sit. Lay down, honey. Lay down. Isn't he cute? He's mad. Poor baby, right? Greg says Tara should have dressed like Stephanie for her interview with the professor. Maybe it would have gone better. As they say, dress for success. You son of a bitch. Oh, well. You can't win them all. At least. I mean, what the fuck? God. Everybody, did you vote in the chat? How bad it was? 1 was really bad, and 10 was not as bad. Oh, honey, what are you doing? What did I do? I fucked it up. I fucked it up. I could have done a good one. It could have been the best interview of all. And he could have been like, you're the best interview I ever had. Now you must come on my show and let me interview you. Oh, man. Shadow Star Ace has voted 1. Fuck. That means 1. That means sucks. We got 1 for sucks. 8. 8 for effort. That's not good. No. Shit. Fuck. Damn it. Damn it. Now, God damn it. I'm gonna have to... I don't know. I will have to cut the interview out and post it. Oh, well. Fuck. I just got a little nervous in the second half. You could tell. Okay, I'm getting depressed now.
Not be left up to the governors. That's where you have health experts. And we're not turning to the health experts. And the health experts are the WHO, CDC, the big pharmacy companies, the big drugstore companies. We know what to do. We just are unwilling to turn it over and let the delivery of the vaccine be in the hands of the professionals.
But oftentimes people would say that the pharmacy companies, for example, those are businesses. Do you put that in the hands of businesses? Do you think that the governors don't want what's best for their
Stephanie,
states?
you of anybody should understand capitalism really does work.
Shut up!
I mean, if you give people an incentive to do something, they're going to do it. Our health.
Because, when you see an old lady fall in the street and you're like, what's my incentive to help this old lady? You got any money? I'm gonna charge. You want me to help you, lady? You charge, and if she's worth helping across the street, you help her. And then maybe if she's not worth it, she can lay in the street and get donations and be like, I need help getting across the street, but you charge. But there's a truck coming. But you have an incentive to get your money, to get your donations, and then you come up with a nice social media platform. You become an Instagram influencer. You post some incredibly heart-wrenching video of yourself laying in the street. It's like a mix between Bloomberg and Whoopi Goldberg's voice. Oh, man. Eve says, edit it with excerpts about his book. Fucking shit. God damn it. Why? Why do I, damn it, have to suck? You don't see other people. You don't see David Pakman doing this, lamenting himself. You don't see Randy Rhoads no, they wouldn't care. Damn it. Why do I care? I shouldn't have cared. That's the problem. I should not have cared. I should have just been like cool about it. Fuck. Oh my God. All right. It really does work.
Well, the reason people wouldn't say lean on capitalism is because who helps the poorest, right? If you put it in the hands of a business, then they're going to care about...
That's just not true. You can give them an incentive.
Just not true. Well, just dismiss it out of hand. No, it's not true. That's why 35,000 Americans needlessly die every year. Millions go bankrupt with health care, with health insurance, I should say. Millions go bankrupt. Right now, people are arguing with the health insurance racketeers. Please pay for my tumor, please.
To deliver it to different groups, different neighborhoods.
You need incentives.
That's just not true. You can give them an incentive to deliver it to different groups, different neighborhoods.
Really?
In different manners.
You can give them an incentive? Who? Who's you? We? You mean the taxpayer gives them an incentive? Well, how about we just have fucking health care for all? How about that? And then we don't have to give incentives to fucking gangsters to pick up an old lady and help her out of the street. How about that? Everybody in, nobody out. Well, let's give some incentives to do the human thing. Who needs an incentive? I don't know. Do you need an incentive to do what's right? If you do, then you're a sick son of a bitch. And you're sad. And that's why we shouldn't be emulating you in any way, shape, or form. You give them an incentive? Who the fuck needs an incentive to help somebody? Help them. If somebody's sick and you can help them, you need an incentive for that? You got to incentivize. Incentivize. Is that the right word? That? Get the fuck. Because that's all that matters, right? What's in it for me? E pluribus unum. What's in it for me? How's that in Latin? Let's see. Latin translation. Let's see. What's in it for me? Well, this might be too long. Yeah. Quid enim mihi est in a. Yeah, that sounds good. Forget e pluribus unum. Damn it. You give them it. That's just not true. Yeah, when you are confronted with the actual results or the facts and the truth, just say, it's not true. Yes, right, Andrea on the chat. Give who an incentive? Well, I guess you got to give the hospitals, the doctors, or whoever. Give them an incentive. Yeah, to help, to give a shit about the poors, about the unwashed masses. You give them an incentive, because who the fuck wants to touch them with a 10-foot pole? So you give them an incentive. Because nobody wants to touch them. They're dirty. They're dirty. They're lazy. They have no bootstraps. They're stupid. They're ignorant. They're eating all kinds of greasy food. Because it's all a 99 menu, value meals. Yeah, an incentive. You don't want to go in their bad neighborhood. You got to give an incentive to give a shit.
It works. You just say to CVS or Walmart, Walgreens, and say, this is what we want you to do. If you want the business, here are the rules. And they deliver enormous quantities of drugs all the time.
I wish I had some drugs right now. No, I don't.
Very few errors.
Mike, you run
Very
a global
few
business.
errors. How the fuck do you know? They deliver enormous amounts of drugs all the time with very few errors. Like, who does this guy? He doesn't even make sense.
Travel restrictions make that difficult. Working from home makes that difficult.
Yes.
How long will we be in an office like this and it be relatively empty?
Well, some businesses are very good. Some
Can
businesses
you
you can
believe
do
this
it remotely
interview?
for a period of time.
Really?
I'm a believer that long term you have to have people working together face to face.
Oh, well,
Zoom is not
aren't
a
you?
substitute for the water cooler.
Shut your
And
filthy mouth.
We are getting there. People are starting to come back.
President Biden wants to open schools.
Oh, they
and
cut it.
he's
I
already-
wonder what they cut out. It's something so scintillating. I would love to see the uncut director's cut of this interview. Not like my Thom Hartmann interview, which is, it's all laid. We left it all on the field. Along with my self-esteem, dignity, hopes, dreams, and my ability to sleep tonight.
Getting pushback. What's your take on that?
Well, I think that what we're doing to poor kids is a disgrace.
Shut your mouth. Like you give a shit. Okay, now here comes the let's talk out of both sides of our ass. Because that's what's going on here. Here we go. We're supposed to care. Now remember, everyone, we're supposed to care about poor kids.
These poor kids are not in school. They will never recover from this. And they had a bad education experience anyways.
Why?
We have not had good school.
Why did they have a bad education experience? Is it because education in this country is funded by property taxes because of our racist ass history? Huh? And like you care? You care about their education experience. That's why you want to open school. This is what he wants. He's saying, like, we got to open the schools. Exactly. Andre on the chat. Stop and frisk. Yeah, they had how about the bad experience walking around your own neighborhood? Like you're in an enemy camp. And him, we can go on YouTube right now and listen to and watch. We can find all of those videos of him defending stop and frisk. Like the good Republican that he is. Everything. Fear, be afraid. Like we're supposed to be afraid, you say, of people with darker pigment. Because they didn't stop and frisk in my neighborhood. I mean, I live in Sunnyside. It's the most culturally diverse neighborhood in the country. Well, one of them. So, but they weren't here stopping. Nobody stopped and frisked me. Why? I wonder why. I couldn't even imagine. That's what I remember when stop and frisk was happening. And I remember thinking, if anybody fucking stopped and frisked me, I'd be in Rikers because I would lose my mind. Probably. How just how terrorizing that is. To be treated like that. You're walking down the street and then the cops are like, hey, up against the wall. And frisk you? You fucking son of a bitch. Do we not have a constitution in this country? Of course, the Republicans, they don't have a problem with that because they're not stopping and frisking the Proud Boys, right? When they should be. They're not stopping and frisking, what? The effing Trumpanzees. Oh, as we see, if you're white, you get to storm the Capitol. And then the Republicans have insurrection amnesia. And everybody's supposed to move on. Go on now, let's imagine. What if it was Black Lives Matter? I just can't help it. Think about it. What if Black Lives Matter, although that wouldn't happen because we know, if Black Lives Matter stormed the Capitol, oh my God, you know what would happen? We know, it would be a bloodbath. The Capitol would still be closed today because of all the corpses. And the Republicans, oh my God. Would they be talking about unity and moving on and shit?
For poor kids. And this now is just so much worse. The president has to stand up to the unions. And
look at this shit, right? Look at this. It's like an old crank, some right-wing Fox News viewer / victim at the bar, riffing on bullshit. You gotta stand up to the unions. Capitalism works. And you charge. Holy
do it
shit.
remotely for a period of time. I'm a believer that long term you have to have people working together.
I hit the wrong button.
Never recover from
Shut
this.
your
And they had a
mouth.
bad education experience anyes. We have not had
yeah,
good
I
schools
know.
for
Get
poor
your
kids,
little violin
and
out,
this
I'm
now
sure.
is just so much worse. The
You're
president
so
has to
upset
stand
by
up to the
it.
unions.
The
and
teachers'
say-
unions?
Yeah, because it's the unions that made the children in the poors have a bad experience, right? It's the unions. The unions who aren't desperate enough because they have a union. So they're treated like humans, not just disposable tampons or something. Not that tampons are indisposable. You know what I'm saying? It's not like there's a disposable and non-disposable. So they're all disposable.
Teachers, yes, the teachers' unions. You know, the teachers say, well, I don't want to go back because it's dangerous. We have a lot of city and state and federal employees who run risks. That's part of the job. You run risks to help America.
You fucking lecturing scumbag in the ivory tower. You run risks to help America? This is the middle of a pandemic. Son of a lot of city employees have risks. You're talking about children. Oh well. And let's play this out. So teachers, they're disposable. Expendable. So what? One dies, another one comes along. Whatever. That's how much we respect education in this country. It's the unions. You see, you got to stand up to the unions. They don't want to go into a deadly pandemic without the proper equipment. Well, a lot of city employees got to take risks. Well, this is a different situation. You're in a crowd. You got a classroom with 30 to 40 kids. A germ factory. And because he thinks he knows best. This billionaire knows best. You understand? That's what he thinks. It's like the robber barons of the other century. Yes. The new Gilded Age. This is it. We're watching it. It's happening. We're living in it.
Help your state, to help your city, to help your family.
Oh, well, thank you. It's like Trump.
Who run
What
risks.
is the difference
That's
between
part of the
him
job.
saying this and Trump saying how beautiful it is, doctors running into death, like soldiers running into bullets? It's the same thing he's saying. So, want to take they want what the unions want is for the schools to be fitted properly to fight the pandemic, to have plastic barriers and ventilation. Shit they did in Norway 6 months ago. But they don't do it because, it doesn't matter. If you're rich, if you have a rich school in a rich neighborhood, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Because this racist country funds our racist school system on racist property taxes. I mean, that's why we fund our schools on property taxes. There's no other reason. Because they didn't want to have... They needed to keep people in their place. Damn it.
You run risks to help America, to help your state, to help your city, to help your family.
Spreading to help your family? How does putting yourself in danger help America? Help your family? How about we fucking address the pandemic and not expect people to die? We try to minimize needless death, but we don't do that in this country because that's capitalism, Stephanie. It really works. And people, the thing is, though, the teachers, you got to go after the unions because the teachers, they're not desperate enough yet. So you got to break those unions. And then maybe you pit the teachers against each other. You start telling them that their problems are because some black person is going to take their job or somebody else, some other. You give them an other to hate. It doesn't matter if they have darker pigment or not. If the teachers have darker pigment, just tell them that an other, something other, is coming to get them. And take what they got. And because they don't have a union, then you know what you do? What really helps, you just fire a few of them randomly. Some of the good ones, maybe somebody that everybody likes. Because they have no protect. You just fucking fire. Maybe they're too comfortable in their job. They've been there 25 years. They've past their prime. Who cares? They're 6 months from retirement. You gotta go put the fear of God in these workers. They're nothing. They're pawns. Stephanie. Capitalism, works. That works. And then you tell them, sort of like the workers in the meat, in the slaughterhouses. And they're dropping like flies, but there's another one right behind them, desperate and wants to take that job. They're waiting for somebody to die. They're like, put me in, coach. I want to die too. I don't want to die, but I also want to live. And I can't live without, in this racist ass kiss up, kick down capitalist country. God. Without trying to just sit on this line and chop these chickens up. Next thing, who knows? Next, they're going to be pushing my ass on the line. If they could, they would. Then some other sucker would chop me up, and then at the end, a robot arm comes down and sweeps us all into the grinder. Oh, yeah, it's all mixed up anyway. God. This country is F. What, Grandma? I run out of tea. This is Crystal Light. Obviously, I'm reusing my plastic bottle. I'm very depressed right now because my interview sucked. Just checking in. Yes. Paradu says general strike. Methinks, yes, exactly. That's what we need. But the country is too divided. They've done this to us. Deliberately. Of course.
And there's just no reason not to have the schools open.
There's no reason. No, I can't think of a one. Can anybody else think of a reason why the schools shouldn't be open? Or I don't know. It's just weird. Why? Why are they closed? I mean, it's not like there's a fucking pandemic. It's not like nearly 500,000 Americans have died in 6 months. Yeah, it's a round and round. It's the roulette wheel. You want to spin that wheel? Well, millions are sick. Only 500,000 are dead. You want to take those odds? It's always good unless it's you, right? God, COVID. Where is COVID? When we need it. Jesus Christ. On a bike.
Classes are a joke. It is worse than a joke. Poor people don't have iPads, they don't have Wi-Fi, they don't have somebody.
What? Well, we could remedy that, don't you think? If we paid for our schools, if every school was a good school and all the kids had the shit that they needed through taxes, high marginal tax rates, where the rich paid their taxes at a high rate, so we stopped the intergenerational aristocracy, and then the rich, could still be rich, but they just couldn't be so rich. Like one effing person has more money than some small countries. And then they get to sit on the corporate media millionaire mouthpiece network and tell us all that we're doing it wrong. That we should just suck it up and take one for the team. If you die, you die. It ain't gonna be me.
At home to sit during the day and force the child to pay attention. And without that, the virtual learning just does not exist.
How the fuck do you know? It doesn't exist? No, it's not. It does exist. It's happening every single day. Is it different? Yeah. But it is happening. It doesn't exist. It's like saying, I don't know, bathrooms don't exist because you're used to going in the outhouse. I don't know. It does exist. It's unreal.
And the teachers' unions you see in Chicago and in New York, we've had problems.
What the fuck? Why is this on television? What is the point? Unless just to bash unions yet again. And trust me, because we hear this shit, this is going to be, you hear it coming from average people. Unions. Oh, unions. I remember when I was working at a TV, I work in TV, but I think I'm trying to remember. Oh, I was working at, it was at Court TV, and somebody was saying we should start a union here. We weren't a union in a union shop at then or ever, and I was like, I'm in, and somebody was like, oh, unions, and I said, what's wrong with unions? And she's like, well, they sound good, but then, you hear all these things. See, propaganda works. And I was like, what things? I don't know. I just heard it's, you got to pay your dues, and then you don't really get anything back. Like collective bargaining and benefits, and you don't get to be to the point of the teachers union where you got billionaires attacking them. The reason why the teachers union is attacked is because it works for the workers. And we can't have that in oligarchy, that's for sure. And I heard another friend of mine who's a father, has kids or whatever. That's what that means, father, And he was saying, he just said something about teachers' unions. Oh, they protect the bad teachers. This is what he hears on wherever, whatever bullshit, every corporate media, of course, station or whatever is bullshit. I mean, is anti-union. They're not out there promoting unions. There's no labor news. Here's labor news. It used to be that. You understand? And I was like, what are you talking about? They protect the bad. If there's a few bad teachers that don't get fired right away or whatever, It doesn't mean that the whole system sucks. There's bad people everywhere. There's people that shouldn't be doctors. There's people that shouldn't be lawyers. There's people that shouldn't be in any profession. So it doesn't mean that, the whole thing needs to go. How about the teachers union also protects the good teachers too from the abuse? And also, how about a teachers union when a teacher isn't harassed and harangued constantly, maybe they could focus on teaching. If we paid them a living wage, they wouldn't have to worry about scrimping and saving and buying extra supplies for the kids out of their own pocket that they can't even afford. Or maybe they could put away their Uber side gigs and actually teach. Right? Instead of going from school one day and then going to doing your DoorDash or whatever, they could go home and recharge or take classes in being a better teacher or learn seminars or whatever. Jesus Christ. They should be able to earn a living. Well, I know two of my cousins are teachers. And they both have extra jobs. But all my cousins wanted to be from the time they were little was a teacher. That's their dream. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're meant to do. Yeah, I remember my cousin Megan when she was little playing school, playing teacher. That's all from the time she could talk, wanted to be a teacher. And that's what she is. Some people, we should want that. We should cultivate that and cherish that. That should be worth something. We can do more of that and less of that. Less of that Bloomberg.
Time for Joe Biden to stand up and say the kids are the most important things. Important players here. The teachers just are going to have to
things you meant
and stand up.
Look. Oh, I'm sorry. I talked over
education.
That. Did you hear what he said? Yeah.
Unions you see in Chicago and in New York. Virtual classes are a joke. It is worse than a joke. Poor people don't have iPads. They don't have Wi-Fi. They don't have somebody
you
at
got
home
like
to sit during
$50
the
billion,
day
right? Because you're not taxed.
To pay attention. And without that, the virtual learning just does not exist. And the teachers' unions you see in Chicago and in New York, we've had problems. It's time for Joe Biden to stand up and say the kids are the most important things.
Things.
Important players here.
Things. No, you meant things, honey. You meant things. They're not people. They're things. Joe Biden, that's what he's going to do. He's going to stand up and be like, against the unions, the teachers union. It's time for Joe Biden to stand up and go against the teachers unions in the pandemic, because that's a good idea. Oh, great. I hope you like those tiny coffins. Oh, well, don't worry. Kids don't really die, they say. Oh, hats off to the immune system, as Twitler says. Hats off to the fuck you. Oh my God, this country. Yeah, they don't die, but they do die. Except when they do die. So why you want to be the one? The 2, the 12. I mean, kids do die from it. And also, they spread it. So say goodnight to mama, daddy. Maybe the kid will be an orphan by the time you're done. Bloomberg. What are you going to do then? Oh, well, that makes a nice, desperate worker, doesn't it? Maybe they have nobody then. You could really work with that. Then they go, hey, you want to tell them to go into that chicken slaughterhouse and kill some chickens? Oh, they'll do it. This is so sick.
And the teachers just are going to have to suck it up and stand up and
Unbelievable.
provide an education. Otherwise,
What the fuck do you think they're doing? In spite of it all. They're providing an education. Oh, because you old cracker, you think. You don't like unions. Real Democratic candidate, right? That's your Democratic contender. The one who's like, socialism. And, oh, God. But never saying what he means. What part of socialist security don't you like? This country.
these kids have no chance whatsoever, Stephanie. It is a disaster.
That's
what's
it.
happening to
He
them.
sounds like
When
Trump.
you look at the situation,
Everything's a disaster that he doesn't like. It's a disaster. It's a disgrace. It's a disaster. No, it's not. It's actually not a disaster. It's different, but people adapt. That's one of the things about human beings. We fucking adapt. I mean, to the detriment of Mother Earth, that's for sure. But we adapt. We learn. We change. You know, like when it gets cold, you put on a winter coat. That's adapting. It's a disaster. Oh. Where the F are you getting your information from? Because up in the ivory tower, maybe you don't really see what's going on.
that we are in. When you look at the World Health Organization, there's been a lot of criticism that it's too bureaucratic an organization. It's why potentially it took so long to actually call this pandemic what it was in terms of a global emergency. Do you need to make changes at the WHO to prepare us for the next situation?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Who cares?
First of
Let's get back to the Bloomberg.
that actually is composed of experts from many countries. These are not people who work for WHO. These are international experts. And based on their advice, we declared the emergency on January 30th. We believe that the emergency declaration was actually on time. We don't believe that there was a delay, but anyone can have a look. And as I said earlier, after the declaration, we have been saying this virus is dangerous.
When are we going to get back to our real lives? When are we going to get back to our pre-pandemic life?
Well, it's happening right now in New York City. The traffic is a little bit better each day. Stores are starting to open. February 14th, we're going to open the restaurants at least to 25% of the capacity, and that will quickly go because the public is just going to demand this.
What do you know? We don't know. Shut your mouth, demand. Jesus Christ. The public is just going to demand getting COVID. When they see others get it, they're going to be like, give me that. I've been too long inside. Now that the vaccine is here and the end is in sight, I want to die. I want to be one of the last to die of this disease. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of takeout. I have some real first world problems. I'm sick of takeout. And I demand to eat in a small enclosed place with a lot of other people. Immediately. I'm an American, and I mean business. I mean it. I've too long. I'm a teacher. I all day on Zoom. It's a disgrace. I'm sick of it. I have a death wish. And I want to take as many of you with me as I can to prove a point. It's like the Whitestone Republican Club. Demand. They're going to demand they get together and have a COVID conga line. As soon as they see others on a COVID conga line, they're going to get together and they're going to demand it.
The governor, I'm sure he wants to do what's right and keep people from catching things, but we have to have an economy too.
From catching things? What things? I don't know. What? A cold? Catching a cold? Catching things? What thing could he be talking about? The reason but we have to have an economy too. Tell that to the refrigerated morgue trucks on the side of the road. Or how about the doctors and nurses who've been working 16-hour shifts for 8 months? Or maybe, don't worry, because if he gets it, he will have the best care. He won't be like you or me, where the doctor will have to assess whether whether we're worthy of a bed. Oh, do we have a snowflake's chance in hell, or do we have a shot? Unbelievable that you hear me, guys? This was on television this morning. It was broadcast into millions of homes. Unbelievable.
And I wrote a nasty editorial about one of the companies who said to their people, you don't have to come back for a year. And I talked about, what about all the people in the neighborhood who depended on your company and its employees to patronize them, restaurants and shoe shiners and cleaning and the cab drivers.
Haven't we been through this already? It's the same old complaints. Yes, we understand. What about them? That's why we need an effective rescue package. Right? That effectively addresses the medical emergency, the health emergency, and gives people what they need to get through this thing without having to push to open fucking open stores and shops and restaurants before until too soon is the words I'm looking for. Yeah, we need an economy too. He sounds like Trump. Yeah, we need an economy. That's why we need an economy. Like in England, I told you guys know, they give the people, the workers, everybody's getting 80% of their salary, and they're paying. That's what they're doing. They're picking up the salaries of the businesses, and they're giving the businesses money to get through on the condition that they don't let anybody go. So when it does open up again, you open up. It goes back. It's not like everything's shuttered and you're on the unemployment rolls and you got to find a new job. It's not like here. Your job is there. It's waiting for you. It's like sending people to storm the beaches of Normandy with nothing. Well, we also got to have an economy. And that's body armor and helmets and weapons and Well, it all costs money. You got to charge. We also need an economy. Yeah, we've been through this. This is what we've been hearing. We heard this from Trump. Same shit.
And that will quickly go because the public is just going to demand this. The governor, I'm sure he wants to do what's right and keep people from catching things. But we have to have an economy too. And I wrote a nasty editorial about one of the companies who said to their people, you don't have to come back for a year. And I talked about, what about all the people in the neighborhood who depended on your company and its employees to patronize them, restaurants and shoe shiners and cleaning and the cab drivers and all of that sort of stuff. We're all in this together. And we've just got to go and build.
We're all in this together. If that's the case, then give people what they need to get through instead of firing people and having businesses go under and sending everybody to the food bank lines. Jesus Christ. We're all in this together. Francis, what the hell? Francis. Shit.
Back. It is just waiting to come back. People still want to work with each other. I'm sure there are some people who've left New York and left London and other big cities, but the vast bulk of the people no, because this is where culture happens. This is where commerce happens. This is where medicines get developed. This is the future of America and of the world. And there's no reason to think that we aren't going to go right back, pick it up. It'll take a little while. Not suggesting Broadway's not going to come back for another year, because you really do have to get everybody vaccinated or critical mass or whatever. But we are coming back, and people want to come back.
Wow. How? It was a slow clap. Holy shit. That's where we live, ladies and gentlemen.
We now know the disease. We didn't know it. Now we know it. It affects elderly people with heart problems and other problems. If they have other problems, that's what it really affects. That's it. You know, in some states, thousands of people, nobody young, below the age of 18.
Wow.
Nobody. They have a strong immune system. Who knows? You take your hat off to the young, because they have a hell of an immune system. But it affects.
Oh, God. Hardly nobody dies. Yeah, nobody. Nobody's die. Nobody's. Anyway. All right, guys. People want to come back. Maybe you'll want to come back tomorrow to Tarabuster after that disastrous Thom Hartmann interview. Will you want to come back tomorrow? I'm so embarrassed. Now I have to write him something and say, I'm not going to do it tonight. I won't sleep tonight. I will sit in my bed staring at the ceiling and cringing. Hats off to the immune system, I'll say. Nobody dies. I didn't see anybody voting. Let's see. Do I suck? I don't even want to go through the chat. People are going to say, you suck, Tara. 8 for effort. That's so pathetic. All right. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Thank you, Resin Rebel, for your super chat. Thank you, Errol Thomas, for your super chat. And thank you, JD, for your super chat in pounds. Thank you, Traverse J, for your super chat. And thank you, Shadow Star Ace, for your super chat. Well, somebody. This is Tarabusters. Well. Yeah, Errol Thomas. Tara, you did your best. Which, unfortunately, your best sucks. Alright. Don't be too hard on yourself. Oh, Shadow Star A says, disregard that number one, Tara. That was for Bloomberg's interview. Alright. Thank you. It wasn't that bad. That's good. Alright. That Resin Rebel. Tom was tired. You were excited. It wasn't that bad. It's true. He didn't seem... He wasn't jumping in. So then I got more talkative. And then I got more nervous. And I was like thinking to myself the whole time, I'm talking too much. But then I would stop a little and I didn't hear him jump in. So I would start again. It was a nightmare. Whatever. It'll be all right. I'll ask him again. I'll have a round two. I'll say, can we have a do-over? And do it right on Skype. And maybe next time we can laugh about we can laugh. Yes, right. It was true. He was kind of low-key. He was probably tired. You know how many interviews he's been doing? A lot. Because I was watching them. But I was the only one, I have to tell you, from what I gathered, that actually read the book. I did. And I was excited to talk to him because I really wanted to start the revolution. Well, get him to talk to the representatives and senators and the bigwigs that he talks to and get them to start talking about reclaiming patriotism. Reclaiming e pluribus unum as an action. Use that. That's the best slogan. E pluribus unum is our action plan. We don't leave anybody behind. That's America. That's how we unify. Everybody in, nobody out. That's the only American way. Hello? Doesn't that feel right when you think and talk about it? It feels right in your heart. And that's how we will heal. We will start healing our racist ass history and our racist ass country by actually embracing e pluribus unum. Everybody in. We're in this together. Yes, we are our brothers and sisters keepers. We pay our taxes. We have universal health care. Everybody has it. Regardless of pigment. We invest in each other's education or if you are a trade. Right? That's what it means to be free. We give you the safety net to be sick, to be human, to have a bad day, to need a little help. That's freedom. That's it. Everybody in, nobody out. And that is how they will... That's how no damn politician can scrap it. There you go. All right, guys. I want to thank all of you for hanging out and talking me off the ledge. God. And that whole front of the show of trying to call in and, oh, God. So annoying. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to go and get unconscious. And hopefully I'll feel better when I'm unconscious. Then tomorrow I'll write Tom a email or something and apologize for being annoying, for sucking, and ask him if he'll do it again one day. He'll say yes to be polite and then blow me off subsequently for about a year and a half, maybe. Then maybe I'll run into him at some conference somewhere about 2 years from now. Well, I'll remind him about it, and he'll do a quick interview on my phone just to be nice. Then I'll go home and think about everybody else who's actually done good interviews, and I'll eat. I'll gain like 20 pounds eating ice cream at night. Then I'll hate myself even more in the morning, and it'll go from there. So, all right, my friends. Thank you for hanging out. Next time will be better. We'll have more fun another night. Oh my God. I don't even want to look at this interview. Oh. Well, I'll do it tomorrow after a good night's sleep. Okay, yes, you're right. Shadow Star A says, don't assume that he feels the same way you do about the interview. Don't worry too much. Was it that? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't want to be annoying asking, was it bad? Was it bad? Oh my God. All right. Who cares? Right? Toughen up. Toughen up, Devlin. Stop it. You're funny, Greg. She sounds like me after I talked to her one time. Is that what you sounded like? What? Why did I say that? That's funny. Tomorrow's another day. I hope so. All right, guys. Yes, I will probably do a show tomorrow night. What do you think about that? Oh, and the other thing, well, I'll have to say it again. The show on Saturday is going to be at 8 o'clock instead of 6. I have to tell everybody. All right, guys. My name is Tara Devlin. Oh, yeah. Remember to become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. And remember what I say. We will win. Because we are on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. My name is Tara Devlin. I will see you very soon.